Hey guys, we're going to be looking at this position, and I'm going to be explaining you the solution and the thought process behind it. This was in my community tab. If you have not seen it before, pause it and try to solve it before watching the video. Okay, I hope that you had a chance to take a look at this problem and try to calculate all the lines out, and hopefully you have a solution that's satisfactory. But let's take a look at the background of this problem, and then let's get into some of the lines. So if we take a look at this, first thing you always want to do with these problems, you should do them in your positions, but as well as these tactical problems, is take a look at the material. And here we see that there's the same number of pawns, and the main difference here is that white is already ahead by a piece. Okay, you can see it has three minor pieces, and black just has these two bishops. So the point here is that you've got to make sure that you're getting enough out of the position. So winning a piece in this problem may not be good enough, okay? And then the next thing you might notice is that your queen is being attacked, and you're attacking the white queen, and black is also attacking this knight with the pawn. So those are our three main candidate moves. So bishop takes d5, c takes d4, and queen takes d3. Okay, and so have that in mind before you start looking. Okay, one of the things I'm trying to show you in these videos, and the things I'm trying to do in my own game, is not just calculate variations. You want to kind of list them out first, because some of you may be able to eliminate pretty quickly. Okay. Okay, well, let's take a look at these candidates and look at some of the lines here. We'll start here with queen takes d3. And here the queen is being attacked, so we'll see that if mainly any queen movements lose. So queen to a2, for example, then we just take this knight. Okay? If the queen takes here on d7, there's a lot of good options, but we could actually there's a very tactical option here that I found with the help of the engine a little bit, which is bishop takes g2. Okay, and well, of course, if white tries to ignore that, then we just have mate in 1. But if the king takes, we have this very nasty rook to g6 check. And of course, if king to h1, then queen takes f1. And so the only option here to save against mate is this bishop takes g5. Of course, rook takes g5 check works, but even better is bishop takes g5, saving it from the queen as well, with a discovered attack coming. So, so that wins as well. White does have a resource here, though, that's a little tricky, but is very important to see, and that is knight to c6, threatening the queen here. And if you notice, this is where the tactical pattern comes in, because if queen takes d5, because queen is hanging, so we have to deal with this. We can't just take this knight. If queen takes d5, then white has knight takes e7 check, and after king to a8, we get that back, and after we take, we see that material and the position is pretty even. Material is equal, and neither side really has an advantage. So we really want, that is white's best from this line, so we want to see if we have anything better in any of the other lines. Let me go back. So we see that queen takes d3 is met pretty nicely by knight to c6. Okay? Now, you might have missed knight takes c6 here, but even if you thought that you were good, it's good to check the other variations to see if it's better. Okay? Now, if we go back here, we pretty much can eliminate this one, because here white can take here on b7 first. That's the idea. And then after the rook takes, black takes, and again, material is even. In fact, black's pawn structure is a little worse. Okay? So we can pretty much eliminate c takes d4 pretty quickly. So that leaves us here with bishop takes d5. And if we take it to its logical conclusion here, with bishop takes g6, we do notice something here with the tactics and the pattern recognition, is that after rook takes g6, we're threatening g2 here. And that's the key to this position. White has to defend, and then we can take this knight, and then we're ahead of peace. If we go back to the beginning of the position, just to sum up, so we looked at queen takes d3, and even if you didn't find this knight to c6, which some of you may have, but I actually took me a couple looks and analysis to find this move. We would see that at best, white is a little bit better. But once even if you didn't see that right away, you should have checked bishop takes d5 to see if it was better. Okay, so every time you see a decent move, see if you can find a better move. Okay, that's a good habit to instill, and it's something that I'm working on as well. So with that in mind, we see that bishop takes d5 is actually much cleaner and much more forcing in its line here, in this threat. And then after white has to defend, we go up a piece because we are now able to take that knight because white had to defend against our threat. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see in these tactics problems that I'm showing every week, I'm starting to encourage you to develop little habits of calculation and pattern recognition. And in this video, the main theme is that if you see a decent move, like you may have seen queen takes d3, if you didn't see that tactical refutation when knight to c6, you should have at least checked bishop takes d5 to see if it was better. And then you would have seen that the solution is much cleaner and much simpler than the queen takes d3. Keep working on that. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And just to give you kind of not that every time I solve tactics I do everything perfectly, but I'm going to put a video over here. Last time I saw when I broke over to the 2500 on the tactics trainer on chess.com. Of course, I'm a bit higher than that now, but it was a very kind of a good demonstration about how I think about the chess problems and how I solve them. So check that out, and I'll see you next time.